Greetings and welcome, family, to Magnus Crystal's Pyramids. Pardon the 6-minute delay. Had to go get my laundry. You know what it's like when you don't have any clean clothes left. So we're going to have a fantastic show tonight. Our brother, Orisha, Gbemi, I hope I pronounced it correctly. But let's do our opening so we can roll in. We're going to have a good time. Put in the comments wherever you're listening from so we have an overview of this experience tonight.
Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Welcome home, family, and join us for the fun. Colorful guests, people everywhere under the sun. Interesting conversations. Prayers first has begun. Invocation, manifestation, conversation, then will come. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Crystals, pyramid. Let's start drinking some water, juice or tea. King Killer's recommended for you and me. Guayusa mixed together, maple syrup or honey. Magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, crystals, pyramids. Learn from the healers, the artists, the seers, authors and teachers, dissolving your fears. Workshops of wisdom, the circle is wide. Plant medicine whispers, the planets align. All magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids. Oh, magnets, crystals, pyramids.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving the airport adolescence of your youth. I am your host, Uncle Hank. Keep it simple. I feel like Uncle Hank tonight after I dragged that shopping cart home on my bicycle. About 70 pounds of clean clothes and linens and towels and t-shirts and pants and socks. You know how good it feels to put on some clean socks, y'all? Anyway, in the comments, let us know where you're listening from. I always like to do in the beginning, for those who may not been here before, I always like to acknowledge our ascended masters whose shoulders we ride on. So we thank and invite Yeshua, Mary of Magdalene, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. We thank and invite the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. We thank and invite Gatekeeper of Hollow Earth from Mount Shasta in Northern California, St. Germain. We thank and invite Angel of Healing and Protection. May your family, friends, and loved ones be protected day and night. Archangel Michael. We thank and invite Nikolai Tesla. We thank and invite Enoch, the Ethiopian, who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We thank Sanat Kumara, Lady Buddha, Lady Krishna. We thank and invite the forces of nature that live within us, Elegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Ologun, Oya, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Ochosi, Orumila. We thank you for being gods and goddesses incarnate. So without further ado, let us get on with the show tonight. Welcome, my brother, Orisha and Gbemi. I hope I said it right, because I just like to call him IFA Stone, because, you know, brother, man, he's amazing. This amazing Gemini, and the Sag is holding down the house. So, brother, you got the floor tonight. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling blessed, bro. I'm here. I'm alive. Listen, as long as I wake up, everything else can be figured out. That's my motto.
Yo, family, y'all gotta check out his voice quality. He reminds me of BLS on the night shift, Lenny Berg, what was it? Was it Lenny? What was the name of the guy who's all smooth talking? Lenny somebody. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The soft, smooth brother who would work the radio waves in the night shift. You know, you got that acoustic gift, my brother.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Listen, that might be a little bit before my time, but listen, I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, you look him up, man. I know Lenny Green. Lenny Green. That's what he sound like. Yo, y'all tell me if he sound like Lenny Green. See, they recognize it right there. Thank you, Golden Baby. He sound like Lenny Green. So I got to make this screen a little bigger. So I'm gonna be on the side. I'm gonna let you do your presentation. Well, I had invited Orisha Stone, but he had some health challenges. So I wanted us to do the spirit of Ubuntu, multi-platform. We talk about Ubuntu and collectivity. So I wanted that to happen, but he wasn't able to. So hope you feel better, Orisha Stone. And yeah, man, welcome, brother. Welcome.
I appreciate you. Appreciate that invite, man. And shout out to Stone, man. Orisha Stone, shout out to him. And I hope you get better soon too, man. Peace to the God, for sure.
Yeah, I want to give a special acknowledgement to James Small, Professor James Small. And I just got off the phone with another big brother, Sylvester. I'm going to send him the link. But I think this information needs to be also acknowledging another distant cousin named Babalao Ifakunle. Want to acknowledge him.
Is that Baba Kunle out of
Harlem?
Okay, no, that's not the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
I know a Baba Kunle. I think he's in somewhere. It's not in the country. It's somewhere not too far though. I can't remember which island, what spot he's in.
Yeah.
But you got a dope intro, man. I like that intro. That's dope.
Oh man, I gotta thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm just gonna put it like that. Thank you. The young folks is teaching us how to work the technology, man. The young folks. Special acknowledgement to Red Pill, Blue Pill. Special acknowledgement, accolades to Brother Rich. What was called Black Magic 363. He has now changed it to 363 Empire. So I'm learning from I'm young. I'm learning from the youngins. That's what
we all do.
Yeah, that's the only way we can keep up.
Yeah, it's a saying. I remember. I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was a saying where you're never too old to learn, you're never too young to teach.
Ooh, that's smooth, brother. Yeah. You're definitely going to give Lenny Green a run for his money, man.
Look, I gotta look him up. Look, I feel like going all Pandora now, man. I feel like checking him out.
Yeah, they see him up here in Kosi. Ifakunle is a deep brother and was instrumental in the start of my journey. Yeah. All right. Yep. Shout out to Orisha Stone. There's Orisha Stone. He's sitting back. I don't know what he's chewing on, but hopefully, feel better, Orisha Stone. Feel better, my brother. Yeah.
We're supposed to be getting up too, Stone. So listen, you got to heal up quick, bro, so we can get this work in, man. Let's get it.
Yeah. You know what else helps sometimes? If you ain't too much, sometimes folks down south say sometimes you need to have a little taste when you ain't feeling good. A little swig.
Talking about some libation, huh?
Yeah. Libation and then swish and swallow.
They say it could open you up a little bit.
Oh, you know something? Look at what this brother just said, or sister, brother. Talk that Gemma. That's funny. He said, "Don't forget, Orisha is another way or word for Horus."
That's deep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's deep. I like
that is deep.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, bro.
New every day.
You got that right, man. So, tell us a little bit about you, bro. How'd you get into IFA? Before we ask, what is IFA? You got it, bro. I'm gonna fall back and listen and learn.
Well, first and foremost, I give thanks, man. Thank you for having me on the platform and allowing me to be here to serve you and your audience, man, your crowd, man. So I appreciate that first and foremost. But to answer the question, really, Kemet. Kemet, I would say, was that was like the prerequisite. That was like the opening to the gateway. And even before that, I got to backtrack and say, really being exposed to the work of Dr. York, Freedom Master Teacher. So studying under Dr. York, I think since like 94, I think I was in like the 9th grade in high school when I got exposed to his work. And so when I got exposed to his work, it was it really for me. Like it was up. And so I never looked back.
Wow.
And then the deeper I kind of went into studying metaphysics, the deeper I went, the more I would kind of run into this thing called IFA. I'm like, well, what is this thing called IFA? Because I didn't really know anything about it. As a matter of fact, I never heard of it prior to me running into it. And I can't remember which book it was, but when that happened, I feel like it was kind of organic, how I kind of drew the attraction to, or the attraction drew me to it, because what I found is I kind of hit a roadblock, whereas I couldn't find or didn't have any access to anybody who was in the priesthood of, the Kemetic sciences or the Kemetic space. And so it was like I kind of hit a roadblock to where I couldn't ascend past, the books. And, of course, with these cultures and these traditions, a lot of it's mouth to ear, especially when you talk about, initiations and priesthoods and things of that nature. It's like you have to have, or you should have, a tried and tested, vetted, professional, priest or priestess, whoever it is that's going to be working with you. So for me, I kind of hit a roadblock when it came to that on my journey. So I say about maybe, I don't know if it was like 2010, 2011. I came across the book. I don't think I have it in here, but shout out to Chief Tish, Louisa Tish. She wrote a book called Jambalaya. And I came across that book, and I don't even remember how I came across the book, but that was the very first book that I read that kind of sent me on my path to Ifa Isheshe. And then from there, I came across, shout out to Baba Ifa Kerde. I came across Baba Ifa Kerde's work. He has a phenomenal book. I call that the Ifa Bible, because for me, it was like, it's called the Handbook of Yoruba Concepts. And for me, that was like my Ifa Isheshe Bible, like, because it had all of the core basic fundamentals and, a lot of I feel like the real prerequisites of what someone would need to know in regards to the path of Ifa Isheshe. And so once I got a hold of them two, that was pretty much it was almost like, children, you have a young child, that's a toddler, and they kind of, some of them might not want to give up the pacifier. Like that's all they don't want to give it up. They could eat, they got teeth and everything else, but they don't want to give it up. So for me, it was like, that was all I had. So I had to hold on to that, kind of like that pacifier. So I came across my godmother. So I think I met her, cross paths with her in like end of 2018, going into 2019. And then from there, the very first divination consultation that I received, they gave me a lot of confirmations. It gave me a lot of clarity. And it gave me a lot of a sense of direction in regards to like where I could go with this thing called IFA. And so,
Wow.
pretty much how I got exposed to it.
That's awesome, bro. So now, what is IFA? It almost sounds mathematically advanced, man. It sounds like Jedi training. What is it?
Yeah, I would say that's what it is, because it's definitely based off of mathematics for sure. And I had a dope presentation set up, but I don't know. Are we still in Mercury retrograde? Because I definitely feel like I'm getting some retrograde energy going on.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I had a dope presentation I wanted to share on the screen, but I guess I just had to kind of go audio with it because
you know something? The way you do that, I'm gonna put a little bit of sound in the background so it sound like we talking in can you hear it?
Yep, yeah, I hear it.
I don't want it to be too loud.
Gotcha. But yeah, that's what I had that presentation together, bro, but it didn't, for some reason, didn't transfer over when I wanted to upload it. Like some of the numbers were off. It was just a mess. So I said, I can't do that. But E5, it's a series of a lot of different aspects. I feel like aspects of nature, and it begins with the cosmology. It begins in the stars. And so there was a time when I went to Ile Ife last year, and I saw this picture in the Oni's palace. I had a once in a lifetime opportunity to meet the Oni of Ile Ife. And I saw this picture. It was dope because it had each planet, and then it had each deity, like each Orisha, who was connected to, the planets in the heavens, right? So it was dope for me to see that, because it really gave me a much broader, I feel like, perspective of how this cosmology really did begin, in the heavens. And kind of like for those who are in the, they're going to the Kemetic faith and practices, as well as like those who study the Dogon tribe. The Dogon, they started with cosmology as well. So it's kind of like, I've been a fan of theirs and, reading their story and their history for years now too. So it's like they all have a parallel or a similar, I feel like, origin story in regards to beginning in the heavens. But, to break it down from my own personal perspective, and this is just my perspective from my research and the things that I've been studying, my definition of IFA is a vast body of knowledge that contains history, philosophy, medicine, and spiritual technology, that came from the Yoruba people of West Nigeria. And it's both the oracle system as well as a way of life. And so through IFA, we learn, not just what to do, but why we do it. And then also to be able to get the understanding, overstanding, understanding, and understanding of all these cosmic principles that govern this thing that we call IFA in this world, in this, the marketplace is what we would call it, in this existence. And so IFA speaks through the 256 major Odu, right? So you have, 256 Odu, the sacred Odu, and you have 16 major Odu. So like the other 240 are like minor Odus. And so each one of those Odus has, 1,600 plus verses that goes along with each one of those 256 Odus. And so when you tap into the oracle, especially for diviners, out of those 256 Odus, and then you think about the 1,600 plus verses of each one, pretty much every single situation that a person can encounter in life is somehow quantified within those patterns of, how the Odu falls within that divination consultation. So it's like, once we do that, just like you were saying earlier, it's like we're tapping into a binary numerical database, of ancestral wisdom and ancestral intelligence, as well as like, the deities, the 401 or Rumile. So it's like, it's a very significant, very I feel like dynamic structure that we use to get questions answered, we use to get clarity on situations, we use to get healing, we use to get protection, we use to get victory over hard times. Like, it's a lot of different aspects to it, but to sum it all up, that would be what I would equate as my personal opinion of what we would define IFA as.
Wow. I heard I think it was Professor James Small made reference to IFA as being similar to like computer language of go into that more, brother, please.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a dope book by Chief Obafemi Fayemi. And this book right here is dope for those who have, really anybody can read it, but I feel like those who are on the path, into like their own personal priesthood, or who are striving to get into the priesthood. But he murdered it in regards to how he broke that down. Because if you think about it, when we think about the movie The Matrix, right, what do we see? We're talking about the Matrix, the marketing of it, the flyers, everything you see it in the background, that black, the green ones and zeros, right? Those binary codes. So
binary codes, yeah.
So now how we use the mathematics, we use not only mathematics, but then we can kind of say, just like how with Kemet, every nature is an aspect of nature, right? So there's no difference with IFA, because IFA uses the principles of the binary codes of ones and zeros, and that's how we quantify all the messages. But we also have the aspects of nature, which is also, included within that same exact system. So it's like, even when you go down to like divining, or you go down to giving offerings and you're using kola nuts, you can get different messages just based off of not only how the kola nuts fall, but also if it's a male kola nut or a female kola nut. So they're using the aspects of nature to give us messages within the message, just like a hieroglyph. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, matter of fact, shout out to you, and then shout out to Dr. Phil, man, because we'll be having him on next week. So
yeah,
look forward to that, man, because he said something. What was it? He said something on the call that it kind of really brought me back to IFA in regards to how it's all aspects of nature. You know what I mean?
He said it. One thing I remember saying that, I think he said he was in Cuba, and a Cuban, I don't know if it was a priest, Babalao, said that Phil has the energy of Obatala or Tahuti.
That's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So when he said that, I'm like, yo, that's dope, because to me, I feel like Tahuti is the Kemetic embodiment of Orunmila. Like, I feel like both of them are, like, to me, they're interchangeable. If you look at the deities from, the Ifa pantheon, and you look at the natures, to me, Orunmila would be what Tahuti is. He's the god of wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, he's the ancient of days, the one who, knows everybody's destiny. Like, he was the one that was with the creator, during creation. And so it's kind of dope how the parallels kind of run together. But when he said that, I'm like, yeah, that's real. So for me, it's just like IFA is literally a binary code system. Just like the Matrix, everything is communicated through ones and zeros. And through those ones and zeros, you have the equivalent of being able to tell any story, or be able to bring any clarity or any insight to any human experience whatsoever. There hasn't been a time that I've ever divined for anybody that they didn't get the message and the message didn't hit spot on. So much so to the point where I was talking to somebody the other day, where some people, like, they've never had one and they get their first one, some people never come back, or they might not come back for a long time because they get nervous or they might get scared. But I get that though, because I remember the first time somebody, it wasn't even a divination, he just read me because he was a super psychic brother who used to be my barber. And when he did that, I didn't know whether like the like it kind of it threw me for a loop because a part of me wanted to snatch him up. Like, bro, like was you in my house last night? Like, how do you know what it,
That's
like
funny.
he was telling me stuff that was talked about in my house the night before. And I mean, it was spot on. I'm like, yo. And so I'm looking like, yo, this is crazy. But then after, he finished my cut, he was like, he told me he had a gift and he can see. He's a seer. So he's able to read people without any tools. He don't need any, no shells, no opele, no opani, none of that. He just had a super psychic gift where he could read people. So for me, that kind of startled me too. So I get it for the people who have their first consultation and they're like, yo, like, how did he know all this? You know what I mean? But that's the power of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, even so much so, like sometimes I'll start the consultation with what might have been the last thing that I learned throughout the divination, because that to me signified it was a point of interest that was important, for the person to receive that message. And so in doing so, it automatically garners a level of respect for, the oracle, because there's no way humanly possible that I would be able to pick up the things that I'm able to share with the people based upon my own personal mind, you know what I mean? Or just me as a person, just me as a diviner, whatever you want to call it. And so it's a very powerful system, very powerful. And all that is equated through the binary system of the Odu, which falls after we consult IFA.
That's amazing. I've had the privilege of meeting people who can read. Special acknowledgement first to Gbemi, because she was the one that made all the connections for me to meet Orisha Stone. Then Orisha Stone introduced me to you. And so thanks again, Goddess Gbemi. And all the goddesses and the gods in the audience. I always say that we move past the regional experience of kings and queens, where we're going into hyperdimensional space. Ye are gods and goddesses, That's the old Baptist minister somewhere in my soul, Psalms 82:6. Gods and goddesses. Waking up. Mm-hmm. We might be stumbling, but we getting up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but what I was saying, I met people who had that gift, and a lot of times they're spooked by it. We haven't got the culture to embrace, like when a young priest or priestess who has the vision, they're not nurtured from an early age, and a lot of times we get casualties on the shores of life, people who are highly gifted. My Aunt Bernice, back in the day, she wouldn't use anything but a glass of water. And I remember when I came to a certain age, I could feel where her aura would expand and I would be inside of her field. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And then she would start the reading. And then special acknowledgement to a sister here in Brooklyn. She come from the family of Vodun, Sister Ella. Yo, my brother, IFA Stone. I am telling you, family, Sister Ella, she don't need nothing. She thinks she needs a first name, and she just triangulate wherever they are, and she starts reading them like nobody's business. We got magic. We got magical people, bruh. I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. You hit the mute?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was drinking water. I ain't want that all in the mic. But no, I said, yeah, it's powerful, man. It's very powerful. So, and then, from there, we got to kind of go into the aspects of IFA, right? So the great God in heaven, Olodumare, is considered to be the supreme creator, So a lot of us know about the Orisha, we know about IFA, we know about the Odu, but some people who are new, I don't know how the concept of Olodumare kind of plays into that. But Olodumare is like the supreme creator, deity, and the aspects of nature as well. But all of the Orisha are an aspect of, the creator of Olodumare. So it's like each one of them are all divine forces of nature that all have, their own set skills, their own set of characteristics, their own set of, personalities and set of things that they're tied to in nature. They're all tied to different numbers, you know what I mean? It comes right back to numbers, they got their own colors. So it's like each one of them it's almost like going to a school. How you go to a school and like each school has its own mascot, it has its own color scheme, it has its own, all that. That's how each Orisha is, honestly, and it's funny because for those in the tradition, you have a couple of them that are the sexy deities, right? So it's like a lot of the women, they want to be Oshun, because Oshun is the goddess of, sensuality. She's the goddess.
What you say, bro? You ain't lying here, bro. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
all
man.
kind of folks wanted, all kind of females want to be Oshun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, for the brothers and the fellas, man, it's usually Shango. Shout out to Kabiesi Shango or, Ogun. So it's like there's certain ones that people, gravitate towards, I think, because of their elements. And then if you think about it, man, we've seen a lot of these deities, right, in our, in TV, in the movies. When you look at the X-Men, you're looking at some of the Orisha. When you're looking at Storm, you're looking at Oya. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're looking at the Hawk, you're looking at Ogun. It's like, so there's a lot of different, elements that we're seeing every day. We just don't, sometimes we might not know how to put two and two together, but they're showing us our stories. You know what I mean? They just kind of flip it and flip the script on it and give it right back to us. Just kind of like the Bible, same thing.
Yo, you just did that number with Storm and showing us Oya. Yo, that's deep. Because the little I know, Oya is supposed to be the wife of Shango, and he definitely throwing lightning all over.
Yeah.
So Tesla would definitely be some Shango or Batala, Ogun. Can you mix them up together somehow?
I think it depends. But I definitely would say if you're gonna talk about Tesla, I would definitely say Shango because of the lightning, and the electricity aspects of it. So I would definitely say that. It's funny because I thought about doing a segment on the IFA podcast about kind of like naming that head. And so pretty much if you took people like entertainers, right? Let's just say Michael Jordan, for example. Like I would say, okay, so if you look at a Michael Jordan, which Orisha would you, personify him as? Like based off his characteristics, who would you think? I'm asking you now, who would you think Michael Jordan's Orisha head would be, or who would he be a child of if you look at him as an Orisha?
The first two that popped in my head is Elegba or Ogun. Because the little I know, and family, I'm not initiated. I think because he does so many tricks. With the basketball. I don't know, man. What you think?
And that's why I wanted to do it. And shout out to Nkosi. I see Nkosi put Shango. I can kind of see that. I would go with Ogun though. I would go with Ogun if I had to equate Mike to one of them. And the reason why I would go with Ogun is because of his relentless work ethic. You know what I mean? And then being, the god of technology and the ultimate warrior. So I feel like Mike was that. He was a warrior, and his work ethic was impeccable. You know what I mean? It was like, and I look back at the documentary The Last Dance, and it made me appreciate that era of basketball on a whole nother level, because one of the things, I guess I never paid attention to, but Mike never celebrated. Like after he would cook you, he'll kill you, rip your heart out, eat it, spit it at you, and then he'll just walk off. Like he didn't really showboat a lot. Like he just came and got busy and kept it pushing, and then if somebody was talking crazy, he would jaw back at him. But for the most part, he would just come out there and put in work and keep it pushing. So it was like I got to enjoy it on a whole nother level, as a fan, especially being a grown man where I was a teenager back during that dynasty. But yeah, I would say probably Ogun for Mike. That's just my personal opinion because of the work ethic. And then him, I feel like kind of metaphorically using basketball as his technology. You feel me? And then he was able to use that ultimate warrior, strength and that ultimate, ability to like really master a true designated area. And I feel like that's what Ogun did, not just with technology, but also with agriculture. We're laying the foundation for, the earth. He created the chain, that the Orisha descended down from the heavens on, so it's like, and then that same chain is almost in the form of like the double helix, you know what I mean? So it's like, it gets deep. It gets real deep.
Yo, bro, you just opened up the barn doors, man. Because now you got me thinking about, thank you, Awa Tiff. She said, whatever happened to Brother Radar? I haven't heard from Brother Radar. He was a brother, family, IFA Stone, that was gifted so strongly as a child. His mama tried to beat the gift out of him. Okay? So his mama took him to the dean. And he's in elementary school. I'm talking about like second, third grade. And Brother Radar said that the dean, mother told the dean, because she didn't know how to deal with him. He said he sees angels. And then the dean smiled, smirked, European American. Said, oh yeah, you can see angels. Tell me about my night last night. And Radar took a few seconds and said, angel said that you couldn't satisfy your wife. And the dean turned beet red. This brother, when I had a house opening party, he would read people before he saw them, he had his back turned to the
Mm.
people, and as they came through the door, he would read them backwards.
Mm.
And when he finished giving them a reading, he would turn around and smile. And he
Mm.
would never take a donation.
Mm.
Refuse a donation.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
you know,
Yeah.
but
It's
now
sad,
you-
man.
Yo, it's something else.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking now. Okay, so what about Muhammad Ali? Come on now, let's have fun.
Listen, shout out to the tribe, man, because I saw Oshuniwa said that she feel like Mike would have been Shango. I could see that though. I could see Shango. I could definitely see that. I think the reason why I'm convinced on Ogun is just, like I said, that sheer warrior mentality about, and not that Shango isn't a warrior too, because he definitely is another ultimate warrior as well. But and that's the beauty of having these types of conversations. I think we could pull things out of each other. But man, listen, what was the question again? My bad. 'Cause look, I got sidetracked watching the comments.
Yo, yeah, I'm watching them too, man. So Muhammad Ali,
Okay, got you.
yeah, Ali, Boombaye.
Ali would be Shango to me. I would definitely say he would be Shango.
That's what the
Shango
audience is
has this
saying.
Flashy, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Yep.
Shango, shout out to Nkosi. I would definitely say I would take Ali as being Shango for sure, because he was lightning fast, you know what I'm saying? The speed, he talked more shit than a little bit. Excuse my friends, I don't know.
That's all right, bro. Keeping it 100.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But Shango don't do a lot of talking, but he'll hit you with them bolts though. And so I feel like Ali was able to do both. But just his speed and then his sheer, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That bee could have been a bee or a bee could have been a boat, whichever one. But he definitely was doing both, I say.
Now, I like this now. I like this train we ride now. How about Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson. Who was that? Was that the big brother that won?
That was the boxer in the early 1900s that had a white wife, and he used to love beating up white men real slow in the ring. And they would be so pissed, they would actually go and hang a brother or two after the boxing match. And he was real flashy. He was like the precursor to Muhammad Ali. So I'm thinking, now what about the first person that Muhammad Ali fought that was really that everybody was afraid of him? What's his name? Family. What's the name of the brother? Not George Foreman. He was George Foreman's teacher to a certain point.
Who was the other one? It was two of them.
Sonny Liston. Yeah, who would Sonny Liston be, y'all? What was that fight like? What y'all think?
Hard because see, I wasn't even born when Liston was fighting. Really, when Ali was either. But I just remember seeing so many, highlights and so many different like flicks about Ali. But Liston, I'm not sure on Liston, man. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right, let's bring it up to speed now. What about Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee had swag.
That's a good one. I like that.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Or Joe Frazier, Ernie Schaefer's.
I got to figure out that Bruce Lee, man. I almost want to say Chelsea for Bruce Lee, but I don't know.
I think it's Sonny Liston was definitely like Ogun. Yeah. Thank you. Tyson. What about Mike Tyson?
I definitely say Tyson Ogun all day. Yeah. Oh yeah. I see Iron Mike Ogun all day. I'm still trying to get Bruce Lee though, man, because that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Yeah.
A real good one.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good one. Because there's a few of them I want to say. And I see a couple people saying Imo Ja. I could see that. Man, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
Real good one right there. That's
man.
I'm trying to figure out who. I feel like if I'm weighing the options on which one I feel like has more of an impact within who and what he was, it's hard. I think I might have to go with Shango. Somebody in there said Shango in the audience. I might have to go with that too because of the speed.
Yo, this is fun.
Lightning fast. You know what I'm saying? The striking ability, like, and then he can take you out with one blow. So yeah, I might have to go Shango. I could see SU too. Oshun. I could see that. That's why it was hard for me to pick him because I could see SU too because SU was the trickster. He can do a lot, and I feel like Bruce was so skilled and so gifted and so fast. He could do a lot too. So that's why he was hard. But yeah, I could definitely see that. I could see Bruce, but I could see SU too.
Now, how about let's touch on the goddesses of entertainment.
Got you.
How about Aretha Franklin? Woo. Family, y'all can help us out now. Y'all can put it in the comments.
I'm going Emoja with her.
Yeah, Moja?
I'm going Emoja, yeah.
How about Patti LaBelle? Woo-hoo! Oh, I think there's somewhere. I know they got some Oshun in them because you know the stories they say, like Donna Summer, Tina Turner. What about Tina Turner?
Tina give me that way out energy, man. Tina, she was fierce. She give me that. She give me that way out energy. I definitely feel like she probably, I don't know her. I didn't, I was a baby, but I just from what I saw with her performance, I would say I think she might have been the way out. They say Patty was Oshun.
Patty was Oshun. Tina Turner. Now you know who? Nina Simone.
Oof.
I think she was Oshun all day.
Oof.
Yeah, man.
Oof.
Y'all help us out now. What other names? Oh, how about Tina Marie? She used to sing with Rick James.
Yeah, I remember her.
Fire and Desire.
And leave them.
Yeah. Oh, how about Rick James himself?
Oh, Rick. Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I was cold as ice long ago.
Let
me see.
Yeah.
Rick, man, Rick might have been SU. I think Rick might have been SU.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think Rick was a character. Rick was a character, man. I remember when Dave Chappelle brought his skit out on his show when he did the Rick James skits, man. That was hilarious. I think, I would have to say that Rick might have been an SU.
How about Obama? That's interesting.
I think he would be Obatala. I think he would be the Obatala child.
Obatala.
Yeah, because he had that real. He had a. I feel like he had that whole Obatala energy and essence about him. I think that's what I would think he might have been Obatala.
Now you know who popped in my head just now?
Who that?
Morgan Freeman. Now I think Morgan Freeman, family, help us out now, would be like, he has that kind of Obatala energy. What you think?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's for a moment, right? Family, what you think? What kind of energy does Morgan Freeman have?
That's a good one. That's a real good one. Because see, what I'm gonna tell you too, man, like I would have to know him, or at least like, have more to go off of, only because you said Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, the actor, man.
Oh yeah, Obatala. I would go Obatala with him. I don't know why.
Oh, that's what they're saying in that's what they say in the comments. Thank you.
That's why I was like, I don't know. But yeah, Morgan Freeman, I'm going Obatala all day.
Oh, how about James Earl Jones? Or how about this? Comedians.
I think James
Richard Pryor. What about Richard Pryor?
I would say SU for him. I think he might have been SU.
Oh, or
I don't know, because he was a wild dude. She was a wild dude. So
yeah.
So I think James Earl Jones probably would have been on Batala too. I agree with you.
Thanks, Steve.
I like
Roberta Flack.
Whitney Houston. Who was that? I Am Osiris T4K. Whitney Houston. Ooh, that's a good one. I think.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I see Whitney Houston being an Oshun. I definitely. Energy on her for sure.
They're on another level, man.
Yeah.
They say SU's on though. How about Red Fox?
Oof, that's a good
Fred Sanford, Red Fox.
Damn,
you know what? And also Aunt Esther, she was something else. Ooh, Fred, you said Muddy Waters. Ooh. Whoa. Muddy Waters, man. Muddy Waters had some songs, man. He had songs about what's that root called? St. John Conqueror root. Oh, somebody said Denzel Washington.
I would say Denzel probably Obatala too. Obatala. Yes, Obatala's got a certain energy about them. And I thought SU for Red Fox too and Kosi. I just didn't want to say it because I just said that for Richard, but I think he might have been an SU too. Red Fox. I definitely think. Yeah, the tribe saying like most comedians are SU. I don't know about that. I think I would shit. Let's just say we're gonna say that. I would say Cat Williams. I don't think he's SU.
What about Cat Williams now?
I would say Cat would either be a Obatala or a Shango. That's what I would think. I think he would be a Obatala or Shango.
This is fun. I didn't know we was going this way. I'm gonna bring another brother on, man. Let me buzz him in. Hold on a second. This is another Babalao. IFA Kunle coming in.
Try, appreciate y'all joining us, man. We got a doubleheader tonight too, man. We're gonna be right back at 9:30 with Iya Tutu. She's gonna be joining us tonight, man, at 9:30. So we're gonna be running it up this week, running that thing up. So I definitely appreciate y'all. Let me see, Bill Cosby. That's a good one. Oh, Osiris, listen. I'll say James was a SU too. I think he's an SU or Sean Go. Because James was something else. He was a character too. But the way he moved, though, he moved with the best of them. So that's a good one. Bill Cosby, I like that one too, Linda. Bill Cosby.
Okay, here I come.
I think Cosby might have been.
Hold on. Ooh. Let me put my headphones on. This is amazing. This is a conversation we've been needed. You know who I thought about? What about the Peanut explorer, Dr. George Washington Carver? Now he would do a little microdose on shrooms and get recipes from the plants. Would give him recipes when he'd be microdosing. So that would be Ogun. Would that be Ogun?
That can go a lot of different areas. When you're talking about if he's known for medicines or plant medicines, I would have to say Osiyon. And see, Osiyon is another. There's a lot of deities that are not common to a lot of people, right? So that's one of the things where I'm working on putting together a training program for IFA and Sheshe, because there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of people who are getting certain ceremonies done but don't know anything about what they're getting out of the ceremony. For example, your Elekes, right? So, the Elekes is like the first step for most people. Everybody's path is a little different. Some people could get the Hand of IFA first. Some people might get the Warriors first. It all depends. But for the most part, on a traditional path, for most people or most houses, it's going to be step 1 will be your Elekes. Step 2 will be your Warriors. Step 3 will be your Hand of IFA. Step 4 will be initiation into the priesthood. But everybody's path is different. But that's like the kind of like consensus norm for most people. But I like to say there's a lot of other deities that we're not very familiar with. So Osiyon is the deity of, the herbs, of healing, of plant medicine. So like all the ceremonies that we do, they all start with Osiyon, because we have to consecrate, whatever it is that we're working with, starting with the herbs, you know what I mean? And then with the water.
Yeah.
So I would say he might have been Osiyon.
I'm turning this up. Oh man, I got a chair for you. Why don't you take this chair? Hold on, we're gonna have fun tonight. Hold on.
Shout out to E1L Tempo 4742. Oh yeah, he definitely a warrior for sure.
Yeah, I'm turning it up so we both can hear it. Let me change the layout. Hold on one second. This family, I want y'all to give a shout out. Here comes Baba IFA Kunle. You ain't got to put it on. I want both of us here. Take this chair.
Super Supreme Mama 2619. I definitely say he would be a sign. Yeah, I see that. Peace. How you doing, family?
Hey, man. Peace. How you feeling, Baba?
I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Excellent. Hanging in there tight.
That's what's up. Yeah, you came into the middle of a Orisha IFA Jeopardy.
All right. So talk to me. Tell me what you're talking about.
We having barbershop talk, man.
Yeah. So what they've been doing, the audience been throwing names out. And what our goal is to try to identify the Orisha or IFA, personality or characteristic that kind of correlates with that particular that name. And so they've been using a lot of celebrities and a lot of different athletes and entertainers, things of that nature.
All right.
So what about Anita Baker? I don't know.
Angry black woman. That's what that is.
No comment.
Is an angry black woman.
Now we going now. You gonna get the women riled up tonight? Yeah,
that's why I said no comment. I said no comment.
OJ, Yemi, close your ears, girl. Close your ears.
Listen. Oh man.
Oh, how about Ronald McNair, the astronaut?
I don't know him. That's gonna be a hard one.
he was one of the astronauts that was it the Columbia space shuttle blew up. I think it was a space shuttle that blew up.
Got you. Yeah, look, that's I'm an 80s baby, man, so I had to probably get people from like 90 and up. Listen, I know a few of them from the 60s and 70s, but look, my knowledge is limited when they go.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's think of somebody. Contemporary. Who is P. Diddy? Who would he be considered?
Well, he's Sean Go. We know that already.
I could see that.
Shango?
I can see that.
Wow.
He's been marked to Sean Go.
Think about anything about Diddy, he loved dance, so I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, you know what? I realized I wasn't talking about the right person. I was thinking, not P. Diddy. What's the other brother's name? Who's a multimillionaire rapper?
Oh, R. Kelly?
No, that's a good question. Who's
R. Kelly?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh,
I think he'd probably be maybe a Legba. I don't know, man.
For some reason, I'm thinking R. Kelly might have a female head. I'm not saying anything about, because you know, men, heterosexual, straight men, we can have, you know, a female be our head Orisha too.
Right,
but the way he's able to, because he got so much, you know, genius with creativity, man, and that creativity is considered to be a feminine, you know, energy, I would say. So
I mean, one of the things we're definitely going to be water and flow. So probably going to be looking at someone like Yemoja, or looking like a Lokun or Shun. Yeah.
I'm thinking even Imoja no Lokun.
I'm thinking Yemoja or Lokun.
Yeah, because he had that, you know, you think about the feminine energy and the creation aspect to create, you know, bringing forth life. Like he was a genius, or he is a genius.
Oh, he still is. He still is. He's still a genius.
I would probably have to go Imoja with R. Kelly. That's what I think.
IFA Stone, what about Marcus Garvey?
Oh, the general. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
I'll probably say Obatala.
Ogun.
Ogun, you think Marcus was Ogun?
Yeah, Ogun. He was creative, like Ogun's kind of creative. That kind of establishment thing. He could have been Aganju, but something like that. But he could be Aganju. You know, the exploration and frontiersmen taking it to another level where no one has gone before.
I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of people don't know about Aganju either, man.
Man,
when you came on, we were talking about Osian, so I can see that. I can see Aganju. I can see that. Yeah,
I can see Aganju instead of Obatala, because you know Obatala, you know, ends up carrying so many heads because, you know, just for the sake of we don't know where to put you, we put you with Obatala, and Obatala takes all heads and all people, and is always the right answer for anybody, because Obatala is going to be a straight lace, and you know, but unless if you're very physically weak, then you're going to need different Orisha like Oya to support it, and then you know, so
What about Malcolm X?
Oh well, Malcolm X has been. He was definitely. All right, let me see what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna say Obatala.
No,
Malcolm.
No. He was marked as Eshu but he was marked as Oya.
What do you mean he's marked?
I can see Oya.
He had gotten a reading from Osurjimenade Fumi the First in 1964.
Wow.
And he was marked as
I didn't know that.
Oya. His name was Omowale. Yeah. So
it's
that was
amazing.
his
small world, man, because I heard that story firsthand, you know, from my godmother. Shout out to Ye, matter of fact, Her Royal Majesty Iyalode Ye Oshunbumi Olapimi. Shout out to my Ye. She told me that story about when Malcolm got you know, divine by the Oba.
Yep.
How about Minister Louis Farrakhan?
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Because you know, they had back in the day, Farrakhan was under the tutelage of Malcolm X, and then things got a little. How about Sammy Davis Jr.?
No. Let's stay with Louis
Farrakhan.
Yeah, I still.
Yeah. Because that's a good one, man. Because it got my spidey senses going. Because I don't want to look at the Louis there and don't get it twisted. He ain't no slouch now, but I'm trying to look at him from what I've seen from the beginning of seeing his footage and who and what he is till now. That's a good one, man. I would have to go with one of the Warriors.
That is a good one.
I'm thinking,
you know, in terms of putting him with an Orisha, it's very, very, very difficult to say with Louis Farrakhan. For Louis Farrakhan, one of the wonderful things about Louis Farrakhan is that he has, like you said, so many personalities and has so many renditions of Louis Farrakhan in terms of making and remaking himself over and over again. So you really have to kind of look at the long term. I would have to use a divination tool to be able to really kind of determine that. And the interesting thing is that when we talk about Louis Farrakhan, we're going to be looking at something that is going to be kind of mouthy. So you're going to have some mouth. You're going to you may look at, you're not going to look at Ogun, you're going to look at Shango. You're going to look at something that is going to be Oya. He's another one that could be Oya. Because he had but he has 3 wives.
Farrakhan did?
Farrakhan still does. I mean,
wow, he got four wives.
Three wives.
3 wives. I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't realize that Farrakhan has 3 wives. Yeah.
How about Khalid Muhammad?
I'm going Ogun with him all day.
All day.
Yeah, I'm going
Ogun all day.
Yeah. I still want to get Farrakhan, man. That's hard because a part of me wants to say Ogun, but another part, it's hard, man, because he's an orator. He the communication, and that that's Obatala. And see, Obatala does have different. They all have different aspects. And Obatala has the warrior, path as well. But that's hard. I like that Farrakhan one. That's hard. I'm still trying to get that one. But
I'm gonna go with Eshu.
Eshu?
Yeah.
Can I tell him what you just did?
Yeah.
Yo, he just did a reading. He just pulled out some kind of chain and started doing something on the floor.
Hey, listen, what I don't know, I can know by asking questions. That's it, man.
No play on the call, man. Hey, he cheating.
Hey, listen, man. Ain't nobody got to see it. I just got to do it.
Yo, this is Barbershop 999.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Wow.
Sir. Yeah, that's a good one though. I think that's probably the hardest one so far. I think.
Yeah, Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan's a deep call. It's a hard call. But I'm gonna go with Eshu. Because Farrakhan is a very, very some of the stories that I know about Louis Farrakhan is that Louis Farrakhan had very close ties with when the minister was alive. He said that he actually saw something very, very mystical happen. One of the stories is that one of the angels actually came and knocked on the door. An angel came and knocked on the door. So, and Louis Farrakhan had been exposed to some, next level, next world kind of stuff. And that's some Alegba stuff that he's there at the gatekeep, And so, that's why I said Alegba because, and then when I read it, of course, I read Okanarano Sa, Eleru. Okanarano Sa, Eleru, Ibatini, Okanarano Sa, Riru, Aranishe, Akala. So, Akala is the one, Akala and Bunigun are the ones that carry the messages. So he was a messenger. So the messenger, since he's a messenger, since we're going to do that, I'm looking at Eshu. I'm looking at Eshu.
Yeah, I can see that. But
because that's what makes him so difficult. Right. or we're going to just say he's an Ifa priest. He's an Babalawo,
Well, I can see that too. And it's funny because I was thinking that because I could see Malcolm possibly as that as well. Because very cerebral, you know what I mean? Very meticulous, very methodical, and just very, very, very powerful. And that's a Rumula as well.
What about David Chappelle?
Ooh.
That's a good one, right?
I'm thinking that shoe with him. I'm definitely thinking that shoe.
Nah. And it's so funny because David Chappelle, I have him pegged with a female Orisha. Yeah. Same thing. Is very creative, but they're not. It's not clear. It's not clear.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that we have to really expand our mind in terms of pantheons and looking at other systems that may be able to better define, these genotypes or these types. Because as we begin to look throughout Africa and just the various deities, we begin to see things like Mami Water. We don't see we're not talking about Mami Water. We're just talking about Orisha. And the Orisha cosmology, and in spite of everything, does not fit. Everyone does not fit in that mold
Right.
or model.
Yeah.
There are some deities that are just outside of that. There's a deity like Oyatemana, you know, Tayesi. We got a choir, we got, you know, we have Osakalai, we got Oma. There's a bunch of different deities when we begin to look at, you know, even in southwestern Mali, who could possibly be more fitting, Salim Bey, which is one of my favorite divinities that I call on, you know, and he's a mystical, magical one, but he's like a combination of Osai Ogun and Elegba, but he's really like Stag Ali, going to set you free. Come to the crossroads and talk to him, and then let's see if you know me.
I say.
I got one. Ibrahim Toure.
I'm going Ogun all day with him.
Ogun all day.
Wow.
Yeah, he reminds me of the future version of Jean-Jacques Dessalines from 18.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's like the modern version of Dessalines to me.
Yo, I never thought of that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I rock with him for sure. Both of them.
Wow. Now, what about Toussaint Overture? Because what made him decide to go to France? So what's up with that?
He was Obatala. That was.
You think he was Obatala?
What you think?
I'm thinking SU.
Wow, I'm thinking of Obatala.
But the reason I say SU is because of like him clearing the road and clearing the path. Because you know he was the general before Jean-Jacques took over, and so I feel like, you know, and they talked about that in the 1804 documentary too. But he kind of like paved the way and opened the door up for Ogun to come through. You know, what I mean? They look like the 1-2 punch to me, like SU and then Ogun with Jean-Jacques coming, you know, as Ogun, and then Toussaint coming in as SU, kind of like opening the way, clearing the path.
Yeah, that's why I'm
but he's cerebral too. So
Dimbala.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot, man.
How about Floyd Mayweather?
Oof.
That's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm thinking Shango for him.
He like all that bling bling.
Yeah, Shango.
I'm thinking Shango because Shango kind of, you know, Shango children are very flashy. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They love to dance. They love to, you know what I mean? Like turn up and then, yeah, I think he probably Shango for sure.
Oh, I got a question, bro. How about this new mayor for New York City?
I don't know enough about him. I've never heard of him until the day he won, and I think his little speech went viral or whatever. I seen it then, but I don't know enough about him.
What did you say?
No, it was Mandani.
Mandani.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing is, so when we look at Mandani, of course, because he's an Indian, it doesn't quite fit the model and the mold, and he's also an Indian who's a Muslim. You got to realize that his father is actually a professor at Columbia University.
Wow.
And he is one of the highest tenured professors in there because he's very prolific in terms of poli-sci. So his father is a brilliant man. And so I'm really hoping that a lot of what he's going to be offering us in terms of, exposing us to his brilliance is really coming. Some of his brilliance is just clearly from his father. His father has absolutely, done some serious work in terms of Islam and what Islam is. And, and so, and in spite of him being in Islam, his major is not about that. It's really about poli-sci and about the prejudice things that go on being a Muslim, but really being anything other than a Christian or a Jew, that we could talk about that being that alone is going to be enough prejudice.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't have a whole lot of the
Evo Stone, Babala Ifo Kunle asked if you was initiated.
Am I initiated?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm initiated into Obatala and IFA.
Okay, what's your Odu?
My Odu? I don't want to share that on here.
Okay.
I like to keep that.
Respect. I understand.
But I mean, I got initiated last year, March of 2024, in a town called Ilobu in Nigeria.
Iroko?
Into IFA.
You got it in town, Iroko?
No, Ilobu.
Ilobu. Okay, yeah.
Not too far from Osun State. Yeah. Not too far from Osun.
You know who's born in that town?
Who that?
Inle.
I didn't know
That's
that.
the town of Inle. That's where Inle comes from.
Who's
the
that?
town of Ilobu it's a type of an Orisha which is very, very protective. It's in the Lupumi tradition. They have it really kind of
Like a doctor, right?
associated with like a cross between Osan and Yemonja, but it's it's a protective earth deity. What it is, and so Olobu, Inle comes from Olobu. Yeah.
How about Bernie Mac?
I've seen.
Now that's a good one. There, that's a good one.
I'm thinking he has you too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's Eshu
because he wild
for sure.
Yeah, but he real
Bernie Mac definitely had Eshu all over him.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's definitely. I think that's Eshu. And then
all right, let's take it up to now. President Trump.
Feces.
Huh?
Feces.
What'd you say? Feces?
I said he's feces.
Feces or species?
No, he said feces. I heard that one.
It's not an Orisha, but I don't even feel like, I don't feel like he's deserving of an Orisha.
He's childlike.
Yeah.
And, doesn't like his ego hurt.
Yeah.
And so we gotta wonder, and he has this, this complex with the egomaniac. It sounds very Eshu to me. It sounds very Eshu. I'm gonna put him anywhere. I'm gonna put him with Eshu. Variations or forms of Eshu, but no divinity because he got the dark side. You know what it is, and so Eshu got a dark side.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. He could be extremely dark. And bring about some change, and Eshu brings about change in a very interesting way, and and also Oya, because one of the things that we talk about Oya has 9 different trade winds, right? So there's the different winds of Oya, and so we have Afefe, which is the cool breeze. We have Fun, and they go on, just in terms of 9 winds, and the 9 children we call them Oro, Egungun. The different winds, these things that appear. And so what ends up happening sometimes when we put these counterparts with the deity, sometimes it's not the deity that we're really seeing. We're seeing the aspects of the deity. And so, again, Eshu, and Eshu has a very dark side. He can be, he can be in the night, he could be, running through and doing some mischievous things, but he brings about great change. So does Oya. Oya has that same type of thing. Oya is very dark, but she sends light through Shango, and sends the winds to pull the flame's eye. Her mouth is on fire. One of the things that I thought about, and I'm going to tell you this, is one of my latest thoughts, is about Oya being somebody who's unmasked, and really unmasking yourself and coming into your own true self. And a lot of people don't really consider who Oya is. We can kind of unmask ourselves and come into our own being and being our true self and stepping up and saying and speak, because she speaks for the people who can't speak. That's what Oya will do, and she fights for women's issues and for women, but she usually tells them to take their mask off.
Wow. How about Charleston White? That's a personality on YouTube. That's like, have you heard of him?
Yeah, I know who he is. I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to think
you heard of Charleston White?
I can't say I know enough about him, but I know who he is. I definitely know who he is. That's a hard one.
That's because he's a wild card, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I would have to know more about him. Like if I actually followed him, followed his work and all that, I probably will have a better idea. But I just
how about Kevin Samuels? And he was a Pisces.
He might have been like an Oshun.
Okay.
Possibly
Oshun.
I'm thinking possibly.
Why you say Oshun?
No, I was brother said.
I would say because just like how he was saying, Eshu has there's 2 sides to each deity. Like each deity has multiple sides, mostly 2. So Oshun, I think a lot of things start with Oshun in the tradition. Some some of it we can't probably talk about on the air, but a lot of things start with her. And I feel like he did start something to kind of like Baba was just saying about removing the mask, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people didn't like him, and I don't even know enough about him, but I do know some of the things that I heard, and I didn't hear a lot. I felt like he had a valid point. I felt like he had a lot of validity to some of the things he was saying, but his delivery wasn't the best. So therefore, I feel like that automatically garnered, you know what I'm saying, like vitriol and you know, like anger and, you know, aggression towards him because of his delivery. But I still feel like he did speak some truths to some of the things that I did hear, which I didn't hear a lot. But and I say that to say that, you know, Oshun, she can be sweet, but she can also, you know, what they say, she can have honey in one hand and a machete in the other. You know what I mean? So she cut deep. And sometimes we got to get cut deep in order to kind of, you know, get to the next level or to begin the next phase or to get to the next, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, existence or experience. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about him either, but just off the top of my head, I probably would go with Oshun.
That's deep what you said about Oshun, because, you know, all the sisters want to be Oshun, but
yeah,
you said they got honey in one hand and a machete in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that's the truth. I know that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, just like she could be personified as like, you know, like what, butterflies and sunflowers, like beautiful things, but also the vulture is another one of her totems as well. So, you know.
Interesting, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Oshun, you know, I better get ya Juba na. I better get ya Dipa Kono Oshun would you do ni kokoro malenje. Tani rubo tio se selectbo. I better get ya Juba na. Beyond goyon tiko bafiti I want yami Oshun share. So having the power of Oshun in really is you know, really it's like having the power of all mothers. You know, because before we were known to anyone in the world, we're first known to Oshun.
Wow.
And so, you know, one of the things that you know, he was alluding to is the, you know, ceremonial things that we have to do. Everyone has to deal with Oshun. We cannot not go in this universe and not deal with Oshun in terms of reforming ourselves and finding our heads and cleansing ourselves and being reborn. Reborn. So, and everyone is born of a mother, and that's one of the things that is very, very important to realize that we're all born of a mother, and we're all connected to that flowing energy of mothering source, that source of flow, you know. And that's where the bank. That's where they say, you know, you go to the river bank and you go get to where things are flowing. Yeah. So that spiritual flow is very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad that Isaac Y Power. I want to acknowledge Y Power Man on the show. He has a edible orgone IFA stone.
I was wondering if that's who that was. That's the one I spoke to, right? A while back. We had okay.
We want to have him on the show because he said he wanted to get some live testimonies. Family, let me go get the bottle. I'll be right back. There was a question I wanted to ask, but let me grab that bottle because you could just give a reading on what the energy is. And it's edible.
Yeah. So how long and you live where? Where do you live at?
I'm in Florida. I'm in Tampa, Florida. And it's funny too because
what part of Florida?
Tampa,
nice. Yeah. So one of the wonderful things about having Obatala, Obato Orisha Alabalashe Banla is that, you know, you have the ability to be able to deal with all Orisha, with all of them loving you.
Yeah, it's funny because Oshun was my first exposure to IFA. Chief Tish, Louisa Tish, she's a Oshun priestess, and I first got exposed through her book, Jambalaya.
This here is let me turn it around so y'all can see it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it right there.
There it is. This is Y Power. Special acknowledgement to Y Power Man. It is literally high-powered edible orgone.
Wow.
That's what's up.
And you could take this and go to the gym and surprise yourself if that's how you want to express the energy.
Yes, sir.
This is who we want to bring on the show. I reached out to him, but he seemed like he was knee-deep in lab zone. So special acknowledgement to Y Power Man. If you over 25, family, you want to go here to this website called ypower.com. supplement.com. I'm going to type it up and read the testimonies.
Nice.
Read the testimonies. And while we got weights in here, I don't know if you want to try a weight test with it.
No, I tested. That's the truth.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, he said he's gonna test it.
Yeah, we tested that.
That's
also,
you already took it. Okay.
Go ahead. What'd you say, bro?
No, I was listening. I said, y'all. So y'all already took it, the Y Power, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
It's the truth.
Y Power. I'm gonna type it in and post it. Oops. Suppler. Also, we want to have Phil Valentine on.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
In fact, I gotta create that link too, man, and get it to both of y'all as well. I'm looking forward to that conversation for sure. I've been watching him for a minute, man. So to get to him on, it's gonna be dope.
Yo, we could do the same thing we're doing tonight, bro.
Oh yeah, for
Do
sure.
a dual broadcast, or maybe if Orisha Stone, if he's feeling better, if he's back, he might be able to have it on his platform also. Because I think this is unique that we're doing dual platforms.
Yeah.
And 3 platforms at one time for the exposure, because it's about the ministry of information.
Absolutely.
So family, tap into this if you want to feel the fire. And that's the best way I could describe it, because it's a very smooth energy. Yeah. So what else I wanted to we're gonna have Phil Valentine.
Daya McDonald said, y'all know what's about to happen. What's about to happen, Daya? Hope I'm saying your name right. Daya McDonald.
What's gonna happen?
I'm not sure.
Somebody say you gotta get Ifa Kunle on a panel. What panel you got in mind, Ifa Stone?
Shout out to Nkosi. Yeah, that's Nkosi saying that. Let me think. I don't know. Just keeping his mind alone would be enough for me, but I got to think on that one. Like, who else would be a good fit?
Well, like we said, we just flow like water with the upcoming shows, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely I had to think on that because I like to chop it up with people to kind of just have a little bit. It don't even have to be long. Just how we did with like Y Power, and then how Stone did with me and you. Like I like to just kind of tap into people's mindset and their mentality and see like where they at, and then I can take it from there. You know what I mean? And just go with it. But I think I wouldn't want to have a panel with him without me talking to him first, because I would like to see like who I feel like would be a good fit with that. Because I feel like I've had that experience before. You can't put everybody with everybody. you gotta have aligned energies with aligned energies, man.
Yo, you know something? I want to apologize about doing that the last time.
Oh no, this happened before y'all even came on there. So this was, like I said, I've had experience long before that. So, but I learned from that. From each time, I learned different things. So,
I can relate. I want to ask you, Ifa Stone, family. I'm calling Orisha Gbemi.
Orisha Gbemi.
What was your first mystical experience to make you want to go on the invisible side of the force?
Oof. You mean in regards to my spiritual journey?
Yeah. What was the first wake-up call? Paul Mooney would say, it's a wake-up call. I
guess whenever the lights hit me when I came out the womb. Because I feel like there's been certain aspects of energies and entities that's been with me from far as I can remember. But I'll say, if I had to answer the question, it'd be twofold. The first time I ever picked up a Dr. York book, and then I would say like having an extraterrestrial experience. I probably would say.
Please tell us about that.
My first one, it was I would say it was probably like 92, 93. I was in either 7th or 8th grade. I was in middle school, and I was reading. I was in my room reading. And I remember reading this book. I don't remember what book it was, but I just remember getting it's almost like a telepathic text, like to come to this park. And so it was weird because that particular park, I had never seen anything like this. I might have to go take a picture of it, but in that particular park, it was an elementary school. And in that park, they had a playground. It was a real big field. But for some reason, attached to the basketball courts, they had this like sidewalk that was built like a half a U or like a U, right? So that particular night when I was reading and I got that download, that telepathic text, whatever you want to call it, something told me to go to that field and just go to that school and go to the field. And it didn't really give me no clear directions or anything. So anyway, I went to the field. It's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And it's a crystal clear night. You know, the sky is crystal clear. Go to the field. And then when I get to the field, within maybe a couple of minutes, this huge downpour just came down, a rain. It was like a big cloud just kind of came above, and then rain just poured down. And it was crazy because I never saw a craft. I never saw an actual craft. However, I felt the energy of, you know what I'm saying, like a supernatural presence. And then fast forward to what, 2019, 2020, whenever the Black Panther came out, the first one, I recall like there was a part when they would like arrive on the scene and it'd be like almost cloaked, like sky, like a cloud in the sky. And then, you know what I'm saying, their ships would appear, like the war scene when they was going to get the sister, I can't remember her name in the movie, but she was like one of the sisters that had, she kind of like went defective, like she went away from the rest of Wakanda and was doing her own thing, but they had to go back and get her to come back to help them, I think, fight with the rest of the Panther Party or whatever. But I just remember those ships were kind of moving the same way. And even like in the very beginning when they kind of appeared in Oakland, like when they were showing the story of Killmonger in the beginning, like that's kind of how my experience was in that field that night. But I never actually saw the craft. I just felt it. You know what I mean? But
no, you saw a ship?
Well, I didn't see one that night. Now I have seen some since then that I got footage of. I got pictures and video footage. Matter of fact, I shared video footage on one of my channels probably a few months ago. When I caught one on I-4. I was driving in the middle of the night on I-4 and one just appeared out of nowhere on I-4 that night.
Wow.
Well, Phil talks about that, right? Talks about extraterrestrials. Did he talk about that before?
Yeah, one time I saw a clip where they had when Obama was president, they had 2 triangle ships escorting his plane. What is it called? What is it?
Air Force One.
Air Force One. They had 2 triangular ships. One peeled off, and the other one stayed until Air Force One touched down on the runway, and then it curved and peeled off. I'm sharing that because I was going down to Maryland one night, and I was going to go see my folks in Maryland, and I was going down I-95. I was on Jersey Turnpike, and it was a steady light on the, like south. Yo, Ifa Kunle family, I rolled up between exit 3 and 4. It was a triangular craft. It was parked, hoovering, and the light that I was seeing, it looked like it had ionized the front of the ship. So that's why I saw that light from up by exit 10 and 11. And I got the impression, I slowed down, I didn't stop. Because I said, they got some technology on there. Because I wanted to, I wish I could have took pictures and everything. It had lights on every corner and a center light. But I had I got the impression, just as intuitive, they was parked sleeping at 3:30 in the morning. And this craft was looked like it was about 200 feet off the ground. And it was about 500 feet away. And they were parked. And I was like, man, this country got some technology that they show you F-22s, but they got some other stuff.
Oh yeah.
You gotta remember that technologically, the exposure for the average person is either between 30 to 50 years behind.
Yeah.
So, because they had Buck Rogers going on and they had that kind of in the 50s, right? So we were looking at 54, 56 or whatever. And, we wasn't even here yet. We were just trying to get in here. Yeah. And they already had that kind of technology. Or they, the same thing with 1984. George Orwell, when we talk about something like that, I mean, there's technological things that were already in place and going that way and shipping. Big Brother's been watching. Yeah. And so now we, it's like nothing we can do basically without having, being spyware or, technology. And, and now the phone is going to be taken out. I mean, this rendition that we're talking about the phone, we can really talk about the Q phone, right? Something with the Tesla's coming out with this new thing, which is Pi. It's called the Pi phone, which is going to outdo Apple phone and everything else. And so technology is going bananas.
Yeah. Well, and they're pushing the transhumanism agenda too. So they're trying to get rid of the devices so people can take the chips. You know what I mean? And then now you can communicate via, I won't call it telepathy, but via the chip to whatever devices that you're using. So it's a lot.
That's what it is. I mean, it's a form of telepathy, right? So it's mind control, mind thought, right? So as you can, exactly what he's trying to do, and he basically wants to put Apple out of business, and he's going to try to make it more affordable, and and being able to do more, and you're not going to have monthly bill or something like that. I think the Q phone. I don't know how that's going to work, but they're talking about they want to put out the phone companies, and they're going to have one satellite and you get connected. And so what? I'm like, what? Very, very interesting, just in terms of, as you think. So you want to call someone, you think of it, and it calls the person.
Yeah, I ain't feeling that.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that. And I think, we got to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
But you know what kind of phone I would love to have? The one that they had on Ifa Kunle in Star Wars, where you have the phone and then you have a 3-dimensional image rising up off the phone. Now that I'll pay for.
I'm sure they already got that too.
I'm sure that's already here, but
yeah, they got that.
Again,
in the movies, they really got. You know what I mean? They just ain't gave it to us or shared it out to the public yet. And I dare to think, and and I'm not challenging your site, but I'm wondering if those triangular crafts you saw might have been the stealth bomber, the B4. Was it the B-17 or 18 stealth bomber? Because those were shaped like triangles as well.
But this one, it wasn't flying; it was levitating.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
But they got the technology.
Huh?
No, I'm gonna say they got the technology to do that too, man. Because Hitler was doing that back in was it 30s or 40s, something like that.
Yeah,
Hitler had access to. So it's a lot, man. There's a lot going on, and then you got to think too. Like right now, they're doing so much to convolute what's right and what's not. You know what I mean? To kind of they want us guessing. They don't want us to know what's real and what's not, because there are real crafts that's coming in and out of the planet. You know what I mean? But also they have the technology to give us the illusion that they do too. Like Project Bluebeam and a lot of that other stuff, and they got crafts too. So it's like I feel like they're doing that to kind of test to see who they could pull the fast one over. Kind of like they did with the 2020 situation demic thing.
I got a question to ask you, bro. Because you're under that energy of Gemini. Which forces of nature is your favorite to communicate with?
Oh man,
I'm gonna start it off. I love talking about water. I like talking with water.
I don't like that question. It's a great question, but I don't like that question. That's a coin toss for me. It had to be water and air, because really both of them, they're universal constructs. Especially on this planet. So it's like, that's hard. I would have to say air, I guess, if I had to pick, but the water too. Though. I think the water. I know the water's powerful. So it's
when I was in Hawaii, I would ask Mother Ocean, "Can I come in?" I would give her accolades, man. And when we used to do ayahuasca in Rockaway, there was one elder sister. We were sitting doing ayahuasca by the edge of the beach 67. And this one sister, check this out. She was like sitting in her beach chair, and she said, "Who is Yemaya? Why does she keep bothering me?" And she said that this force came. She said it felt like she was on ayahuasca. She said it said, "Come to the water, come to the ocean edge." She's like, "I don't want to go over there to that water." And a wind came out of nowhere and blew the blanket off of her. And when she did finally get escorted by a boyfriend down to the water, special acknowledgement to Bertha. She know who she is. I don't know if she ever hear this. She said, Yemaya said, "You've been to the beach so many times, but you never acknowledged me." When I was in Hawaii, I went with the Hawaiian dive team. But before I went in the water, I always asked, "Can I come in?" You're going into somebody else's element. I'm going into her house. Yeah. So I was like, is it okay? The one time she said no, later on that day, I saw sharks in that area.
Yes, yeah.
So it's really fun communicating with the forces of nature, man.
Yeah, it's real. I had an experience like that about maybe 3 weeks ago, man. I had a client come down. We did some ceremonies for her, and we decided we found out that she was a child of Emoja. So I'm like, yo, if we can, if time permits and our schedules align, we should go to the ocean, and give some offerings, and we did. And it was beautiful, man, because as soon as I started shaking my Roku and started opening up with opening prayers, like you could see the water like starting to come in closer and closer. And the wind starts to pick up. And as what I'm saying, the more the prayers are coming along, the more the wind comes, the more the water comes back and forth. It's a beautiful thing, man. And then on top of that, the way the sun was shining, it was shining, I won't say a 90-degree angle. I'm not sure what degree it was, but it was shining at an angle directly like where we were at. And so as the offerings were presented into the ocean, each one of them took and went the path directly towards the sun. It was amazing, bro. It was a beautiful thing, like to the point where I was like, yo, it was amazing. So it's like, and then even when I do work, for clients and I'm out in nature, like even just a divination consultation, like you can see or experience the elements of nature like contributing to the to the moment, in the message, like certain elements or certain parts of the message, the wind will pick up, or a butterfly fly by, or a dragonfly fly by, or a bird. Like it's beautiful to see. About a month and a half ago, I was doing some work for a brother, and it was for the ancestors. And like right after he left, I'll say not even 5 minutes later, a black snake just started climbing up a tree. I'm like, yo, that's
wow.
So it's like nature, it's real. It's a very powerful, I feel like, divine connection that we have with nature, and that, i.e., that's why the Orisha and the Netchers, they're all forces of nature. They're all elements of nature.
Yeah, man, this is really good because I appreciate. I'm from the class of 1958. So you a recent arrival in the airport of incarnation. So having the multi-generational networking, man, is fascinating. Esoteric shop talk. So I want to, thank you and always welcome you to be on. That's why, I appreciate Orisha Stone, even though he's sitting back tonight, taking care of his business. This was I really enjoyed the conversation, bro.
Likewise. I appreciate it.
That y'all with us tonight. Thank you for all the information, the texts, the comments, and we had fun, man. This was great. Let everybody on my platform know what your channel is. Can you put it into text? Can you text it?
Yeah,
and I'll put it on the screen so that people can like, subscribe, and share.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate the opportunity, to come on here and chop it up with you. And then also, I want to give you a personal shout out just for being somebody who's a facilitator, man, because, in this line of work, not everybody is, willing to share, and I feel like that's something that we spoke about on the last 2 episodes on the channel, actually, about just being willing to share, and working together, collaboration over competition. And it's like, you're one of the few that, like you came in the gate with me, like, just like, yo, so-and-so, like, nah, okay, let me connect you with so-and-so. And, just, adding value to myself and to my tribe, so it's like that. I give thanks and, gratitude, man, for you being someone who's open to, opening doors. Like you're doing your SU thing, like opening doors to opportunity.
So who is Hank? Who do you have Hank? What Orisha do you have Hank with? Good question, right?
Well, that's a Malegba right there, opening the doors. I'll take that.
Yeah, but I don't know enough. I gotta know enough. But you definitely do. You got that energy about you, though. You're definitely doing that. I gotta say that for sure.
You know what I really appreciate? Look how the energy flowed. I just got a text from my cousin. He said, "I'm in the neighborhood."
I wasn't in the neighborhood. I was still in Manhattan. I was gonna go home.
Oh,
he said he's doing a show on the E5. I said, "Oh, well, I'm on the train. I'm coming to you."
Yo, but you showed up 10 minutes later. So what kind of A train was you riding?
I did, exactly. I was on the A train. I took the A train. How'd you know?
I didn't know y'all was in the city, man. That's what's up.
And I want to give a special acknowledgement again to Goddess Sandra in Texas. I want to give acknowledgement to our sister OJ Yemi, because she said something really deep. Ifa Stone, Orisha Stone, Babalawo Ifa Kunle. We got to break out of that poverty mindset.
Yes.
We got to really embrace Ubuntu.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. We get all for one for all.
That's right.
That was written by that book, Three Musketeers, That was by a brother.
Mm.
We really got to practice Ubuntu.
Yeah.
And walking the walk is like, hey, let me hook you up with this person. Let's do a 2 or 3 channel collective so that we can have everybody benefit from the information barbecue.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Because that's what this is. This is a family barbecue in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it's very interesting. I said, we're doing a show on IFA. I just mentioned you. I said, you mentioned me.
Yep.
I said, oh, I'm in the train. And that was downtown Manhattan. And I said, I had a choice of going uptown or downtown. I said, well, I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
That's it. And so, so I'm definitely, if you're going to talk about IFA, I'm there. So anytime you want to talk about it, IFA lo be mio, women yo bara, migialo, rumilala be mio, women yo bara, migialo. Any re la umao, any re la umpe. Ejugbe ba washe o any re la umao. Any re. So, and we're looking for good people. That's what we're looking for. And as people of priest people always want to tell me that they're initiation and priest, but as you can see, Brother Hank is a priest. In spite of because he does the work, and the work is really about giving and connecting and bringing things together. And so big up, shout outs for Hank Rising son, Brother Uncle Hanky, who brings them together, and he brings everything together and makes the soup and always got the tea ready. So that's the thing.
I'm glad you mentioned tea, bro. Listen, family, IFA Stone. If you're over 25, like we are,
I'm close.
Kinkaliba tea, family. Tap into the Kinkaliba tea.
You told me about that last time too. I wrote it down. I got to order some of that, man.
Yeah. Listen, I drink it every day, throughout the day, and I'm gonna put this up just so that, because there's nothing worse than, getting miserable from health-related stuff because of the wacko food that we eat now.
Oh yeah.
So family, tap into this African tea. It's all over Africa, every country, like Gabon, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Senegal, Ivory Coast. They all drink Kinkaliba tea, and they look healthy as heck.
Yeah.
You see that the latest MMA fighter, he's from Senegal. He's going through the fighters like, I forgot his name, man, but he's just swapping. Fit girl, fit girl. Special acknowledgement to her. She's out of New Mexico. I want to acknowledge everybody. Folks are listening from everywhere. I like calling family. I like calling them IFA Stone. It's easy to say, And I say Babala IFA Kunle because I got the rhythm, and we gotta have some drum music before we roll out of here.
Yes, sir. That's what's up.
Yeah, but get that Kinkaliba tea, family.
Yeah.
Better to have tea and no food than food and no tea.
That's right. Look, Oshun, I said, Uncle Hank, when you gonna make that tea? Make your own tea blend for us.
No, listen, sisters, we're gonna put y'all back in the kitchen. We're gonna put you back in the kitchen because the Shakti, we hear OJME special shout out to you. The goddesses. Well, the goddesses got to hook up the brothers with the tea.
Yes, sir.
Glory be. I want some tea.
Yes, sir. She's another one that been doing that same thing, just opening doors and paving ways, man. So I give gratitude to her as well for doing what she did too.
You know she a Gemini.
I did not know that.
Yes, she is.
That's why I rock with her, because look, we rock heavy together.
And Bubba Cuz, he's Libra.
Yes, sir.
Your air is up in here.
Yeah, Gemini, man. We roll
blowing on that fire.
Blowing on the fire. The fire can't say fire coon be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So let me see if I could put this on a little stronger. What's some words you want to share with us, brother, before we break out of here?
Ooh. Man, would you say Ubuntu? United we stand, about it we fall. And I feel like we got everything we need. We just got to make sure that we could use, you know what I'm saying, and trust each other, you know, because we don't need nobody else to save us from nothing. We just got to get together, work together, and make it happen, you know. And once we do that, it's a wrap. We are the supercells. We are the X-Men. We are the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? We am them. Like, that's who we are. That's where we come from, the stars. So it's like, you know, they've been telling us our story all along since we've been here. And it's like, but we've been seeing it in different perspectives, or coming from different perspectives, where they paint us to be the villain when we're really the hero. So, you know, we go to commit, you know, the sorry and drama. Like, it's time for us to get rid of that set, you know, and bring forth the Heru.
I like that, bro. Because, you know, I was raised with the black and white TVs in the Clint Eastwood and Dr. Spock era. you know, where they said there can only be one. And then learning about Ubuntu, the collectivity, you know, like with the way the energy flowed. You know, the Force said, for having Chief Cousin right here, Babalawo Ifakunle, and we cutting it up like barbershop, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so much better, so much color, you know? It's because we're only here for a hot minute.
That's it.
We might as well make it a good ride.
That's it.
But yeah, you know, I'd like to, you know, get together with you and talk to you. You know, definitely chop it up, particularly since you have a connection to Oyotunji village. I don't know if you know, I was at Area Go past Oba.
Sure,
you know, and a minister, you know, to make sure, protocol minister from New York City, Harlem, USA, bigger, better, and blacker than Disney World, Sunburst's prettiest place on the universe, where the concept of, you know, really the Orisha tradition had spread from Harlem. Most people have this whole sense of wanting to know, oh, well, this was that, and that, you know, but in terms of African community and the African community coming into Orisha worship, I don't think one particular city more than New York City and Harlem in particular had an effect in bringing Orisha tradition in and around this United States, because, you know, really it was the foundation by which most of the spiritual eclectic, same thing with, you know, taking root, the Nation of Islam, and, you know, connecting the different things, or even going into Heru and what is the Shechem Shechem? Shechem Shechem is an Obatala priest. I don't know if you know that. He's an initiated Obatala priest.
I know the name. I heard the name. I'm not familiar with his word, but I know that, and I've heard that name.
Well, you have the Meta Netor. Have you ever read the Meta Netor?
Okay, yeah. I got volume 1, 2, and 3, right? He got 3 volumes.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I didn't know he was an Obatala priest.
Yeah, he was initiated to Obatala early, before he started to become the king of all of that, and putting that. See, that whole divination system, he used a lot of what he learned from being a Nifa priest to coordinate and to see what that is. And so, yeah, that's what it is. And so we have done some really wonderful things just in terms of Orisha culture. You know, Nana Deni Zulu was a Shango. And he was, you know, involved with Orisha tradition before he was involved with going to Ghana. And he's made such an inroad. And anytime they play for him, they always play for Shango first.
Wow.
So that's just to show you how the importance of Yoruba tradition, even bringing back home through the ancestors. I mean, we give big ups to the Santeria worshipers and to the Cubans who maintained and hold, but particularly give big ups to Haiti. You know, like you said, you know, Haiti and really is 1803. They just want to take a year from us because it was in December, the beginning. But anyway, but yeah, big ups to the Haitian posse and the Sac Passe, you know, because to my great grandmother, who came from Haiti, you know. And so, yeah, it's a very powerful thing that we can do, and what it has affected, you know, and the offshoots that it has produced, you know. So yeah, big ups to Shechem and Shechem, who really did some fantastic work, and even bringing some ideas and education to what possibly could be the most important thing in terms of bringing health and wellness to the community.
I should. That's
you know,
what's up.
he taught people about wearing clothes and eating right, and and people like what is this Queen Afua, comes from as an offshoot of some of that information and how that came, even though she came from Baba Heru. But I mean, all
And
of
before that was Phil Valentine.
yeah, and before that was Phil Valentine. Well, that and before that we're talking about Dr. Ben. So the interest came, and people in the cultural community, which is so very important. The cultural community used to be, people became priests from the cultural community. Now people don't become priests from cultural experiences. There was the dancing, and the drummers, and they became the priests in the community. Now we got people who were just seeking Orisha. I don't know what the background is, or what's the where they come from. You're like, where do you come from?
Well, there's a bunch of Europeans going to Nigeria to get initiated. A bunch of them.
There's a president who you know very well of the United States who had a particular Lewinsky experience that had to go and get initiated to IFA.
He did?
Wow.
Wow. Did you hear that?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I do know there's certain things that I found this out in Vegas.
I mean, the mayor of New York City, he went to Ghana, and they went and gave him some ceremonies, so that he can kind of
talking about Mayor Eric Adams,
strengthen his ancestors, and that's strengthening connectivity to the ancestors. So it's very, very important,
Yeah. No, I'm with it, man. I definitely want to get Uncle Hank, if you can exchange our numbers, our info, man. I love to have you on.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Then, because it's funny because how you mentioned how some of the other Babas went from, Ifa to the Kemetic, and my journey was the opposite. Like, I came from studying Kemet into Ifa. I was sharing before you came on, like, the reason I couldn't go further in Kemet, I didn't know no Kemetic priests or priestesses. You know what I mean? So my wall, it was like a wall. But the deeper I studied Kemet, the more I would see the correlations of how Ifa was connected to it. And that's how I kind of, I guess, stumbled upon, the opportunity to meet people from the Ifa Sheshe tradition to kind of bring
So it's a dead tradition. Some things die out, right? And so the Ifa is still an alive tradition. It's a tradition that is still alive and well and being practiced. It's not that there is anything wrong with it. It's just that it had died out. And so even the language died out. There was one particular information that they found so that they could learn even what some of the tablets were saying. And that wasn't until
that's right. The stone.
The stone, that stone that helped to see the three traditions on it, that helped them to be able to see what was on there, to help them to even see what the language was. But that had been lost. It had been lost for a while, but we're the same thing. We're the same tradition, is still working and never unbroken, So Ifa is vibrant and still alive, and it's still connected to the universal. The pyramids of Giza is still connecting. Ifa talks about the starlights. It talks about the trees, the leaves, and as I said, Ifa is the great tradition of that is able to diagnose, treat, heal, educate, adjudicate, and be able to determine the purpose of things in life. And so it is historical, but it's not history. It is biological, but it's not biology. It is mathematical, but it's not mathematical. It's not math. So, is those things that when we talk about it, it incorporates so much of living involving in Ifa, just in terms of the plants and the animal, some things that only exist in Ifa, because some of the animals have no longer exist. And so some of the stories that it talks about these animals no longer exist. They only exist in the minds of the Babalawo from studying Ifa.
I see.
This is deep water right here, brother.
Oh yeah. Look, we going in Olokun territory. Look, and then I got Olokun.
And you know Phil Valentine, he's a Libra too.
I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Yeah, Libras ain't no joke, man.
Yeah. Shout out to T.I. I think T.I. Libra too. Libra scale. That's what's up. Yeah, I tell you what, man, I give thanks. I gotta jump on because I gotta jump back on at 9:30 with
Oh, okay. This was fun.
We're gonna
Family, like, subscribe, share. I want to thank you, Baba Cuz, for coming in, Chief Cuz. I want to thank you, IFA Stone. I want to thank you, Orisha Stone. I want to thank you, OJ Yemi. I want to thank you, Awa Tiff. I want to thank the whole family. Remember, we got to drink the tea in the holiday season. You don't want to harvest anything other than good health. Y'all important to us. We need you. So glory be. We want you to drink that tea. And we're going to close out with a quick little song. And we'll see you soon.
Yes,
and I'll make sure that you get the exchange numbers.
Okay, I appreciate you.
All right, let me find that right here. Here we go. Catch y'all later. Oops.